Yo, so what's going on, Battlefielders? It is Pone. We are kicking it off with part 2 of the nice little F2000 gameplay on Operation Metro. And you guys were just curious about, what happened to the last one. And I forgot to let you guys know that there was an issue with the recording, and it's never happened before. I don't know what it was, but there were, I think there were 14 total, and I think I had like 7 through 14 to go on that AEK Operation Metro I put up like, I'd say a week ago. And I told you guys I'd do part 2. The downfall was episode 10 and 13, or part 10 and 13, because like Fraps records like 2-minute sessions at like 2 gigs apiece. So part 10 and 13 were messed up. And so it was kind of like I just lost 2 major parts of it, and because it linked up with other parts of the gameplay, it just got totally fucked up patty cake. And it was so messed up to the point that I couldn't do it anymore. So a lot of you guys were like probably like freaking out, like, Pone, whatever happened to that other video? Wasn't there another one? I think it's kind of weird. I know. I just didn't want you guys to think that I forgot about it. I just forgot to extremely, remember about it, I guess. So, stupid things aside, I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the realistic games. Maybe not so much realistic. I just mentioned realistic in video games and one thing. You funny Pone. I guess war-based or, common modern warfare type games. The more popular ones. You've got things like Modern Warfare 3, stuff like that, like Call of Duty. Really, really popular, supposed to be very, very modern-based. You've got Battlefield 3, really, really popular, modern-based. You guys gotta understand that realisticness is not what they go for. Maybe in guns or maps or vehiculars, stuff like that, I could understand how it could be, realistic like. But when it gets to the point where I can spawn on one little fucking radio box, come on. Like, seriously? Come on. Am I regenerating health like that? I can throw down some Skittles right here and be good. Did my gun, was that just totally transparent through that health pack? That was kind of cool. So, exactly, like I said, totally realistic. My guns can sit inside of other objects, because it's fucking amazing like that. So, I don't know what your guns can do. You get some cheap-ass ones, but mine can do all kinds of crazy shit, too. Mine knows how to bake a pizza. You jelly, bro? I thought so. Oh, speaking of pizza, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten lunch yet. Pone, you fat ass. Anyways, I want to talk about the realistic games, because I've been thinking about this lately, and I was thinking about all the ones that I missed. There's a big, major, well, it's kind of a dependent crowd out there. A lot of people have tried it at one point or another, and it's basically gay sex. Just fucking with you guys, not gay sex. Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike's another one that's really, really big on PC, and it's a game that a lot of people have played before, and it's notorious out there. It's, CS 1.6... Source, all these things. So there are lots of different types that they had out there, but there were only a couple ones that were really, really popular, and it really drew in this crowd. It got to a point where it was very, very competitive, so on and so forth. And there are a lot of games that are out there that have the modern kind of feel. They're actual guns. Even though I do enjoy the futuristic shooters like Halo and shit like that, I do enjoy these realistic type. Okay, fuck, Pone, stop saying realistic. These modern shooters. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Fucking douche. It's just I like getting into that moment where I can enjoy some of these games, and I like some of the realistic shooters. Oh my god, Pone. I'm gonna drown you in like a puddle of bear urine or something. So I like the modern shooters, and I think it's just because I like the realisticness behind the guns. I can do that. I got away with that one. I like the guns because they're modern. I mean, like the Raffica right here that I'm using, or the F2000. Those are guns that I know of. They're actually in use. They've been seen before. Some of these are still used today. Most of these are still used today. And I like the idea behind it, because those are something that are really, really common. A lot of people know about them. They're still in use, a lot of them, if they haven't been retired already. And it's just something I've enjoyed about it. I like the ideas that they've brought to it to try to make it as realistic as possible. They fail a lot, but in all reality, it's kind of a fun way to play the game, because I enjoy that kind of stuff. Now, there was another game that I was heavily involved in, and I've always loved this game. I loved it more than I did Counter-Strike. I really did never get into Counter-Strike. I didn't like the idea about, no aiming and stuff like that. I like the aim down sights. It's the precision I enjoyed, so I might have just had a bad experience. I'm not bashing it. I'm just saying it wasn't for me, guys. Everybody's allowed to dislike something. I don't like tomatoes. You're going to fucking hate me for it? I bet you will. You're like, Pone, you need to eat them vegetables, you unhealthy prick. And I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. I can handle it. I don't need my veggies, bro. I got this. I'm fucking, oh, yeah, that's right. Come at me. So, that's what I did to Mom. I gave her the hand, like, bitch, no broccoli. And, but anyways, flashbacks. So, and then basically I had a game that I really, really got involved in, and it was called America's Army. and it was free to download, free to play. It was pretty solid. It was a game that I really got involved in, and it brought in that kind of realistic feel for me. That's what got me into these kind of shooters. I never played Call of Duty before America's Army. I never played Battlefield before America's Army. America's Army was that first thing. So I had two different kinds of shooters that I grew in and grew on. The very first one was Unreal Tournament, and then I fluctuated into Halo. So Halo 2 was probably the game that I was just great at. Unreal Tournament I was great at. And those were the ones that I spent a lot of my youth in. And then I got into something like America's Army. And I'd never thought I'd get into something that was a more realistic type modern shooter. And it really was fun. You had to do training to get through. And the training was a bitch sometimes, some E&E and stuff like that. But the game was just amazing. There were maps. They were built perfectly. The guns are great. I've never seen gun balance in classes used properly. You had to pick your own class. So there'd be like different like 4-man groups or whatever, and there'd be like some groups, in like the A team or the Bravo team or something like that. There'd be 3 M16s and then a M249 Saw support guy, and all these guys. I mean, there were no health or no packs or anything like that, but there were classes, so there was always a limitation on what kind of guns and maps and everything were out there. And if the game was still around and working how it was, I would show you guys the beauty behind how great and realistic this game was compared to some of the other ones. And I loved it. You'd play on a map, and it wasn't really like a TDM kind of thing or anything like that, or like Rush. It was seriously, you had to play smart. You had to play like a soldier. You had one life. So in a way, it was kind of like Call of Duty's Search and Destroy, except for without the 360 phase fags. So that's what it is. It's without people ruining the game. It was a blast. And then there were some maps that were designated for having a couple snipers on it, but you never had too much in one thing. They built the map properly. They put the right type of class on them. And it was probably the most realistic, balanced shooter that I've ever played in my life when it comes down to like the modern type thing. And that's not like I can really say that about something like Halo, but that's just where it is. So that's been a little bit of my history, guys. Thanks for watching. Like I said, my Twitter and Facebook will be down below if you want to come follow me. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys rate up the video. If you guys get this to another 3,000 likes, I'll be sure to put up another Battlefield 3 gameplay tomorrow, guys. Peace out.